All right, let's talk about the secret language of your home's plumbing. You know, your pipes are trying to tell you things all the time. So in the next few minutes, we're going to figure out exactly what they're saying.
We've all been there, right? You hear that weird gurgle coming from the kitchen sink, or maybe the shower drain seems to be taking its sweet time. Well, those aren't just random house noises. Nope, they're messages, and a lot of the time, they're the very first warning that a problem is starting to brew deep down in your pipes.
So, let's start at the very beginning. The first, and honestly, the most common sign that something's up is just a simple slowdown. And this is your best chance to catch a clog before it turns into a real headache.
What's so interesting is how easy this is to ignore at first. You know, you might see a little puddle of water in the tub after your shower, or the sink just kind of lingers for a while after you do the dishes. It's so tempting to just walk away, but that's a classic sign that something is starting to build up down there.
But what happens if you do ignore that first slowdown? Well, the problem, it doesn't just magically disappear. It actually builds on itself, leading to way more obvious and, frankly, much more serious symptoms.
At this point, you're dealing with two huge red flags. First, water that's not just slow anymore, but is actually coming back at you. And second, you're getting clogs over and over again. These are sure signs that what started as a small blockage has really grown into something much bigger.
Okay, this is where things really escalate. When water starts to pool or even bubble back up into your sink, it means that pipe is so blocked up there's literally nowhere else for the water to go. It has to come back up. This isn't just an inconvenience anymore, it's a plumbing emergency waiting to happen.
So here's the bottom line. If you feel like you and your plunger are becoming best friends, you're not actually fixing the problem. You're just poking a temporary hole in a much bigger buildup of grease, soap, and hair that's just collected way down the line, far beyond where any simple DIY tool can reach.
Okay, now we need to talk about the most serious warning sign of all. I mean it. If you see this next sign, it is an absolute drop everything red alert. This is when the problem has gone from a single drain to your entire system.
And listen to this. This is a direct quote from our source because it is that important. Any water coming out of the drains in your basement is a serious sign of a blockage in the main sewer line. That line is the main artery for your home's plumbing. And a clog there, well, it can cause some really widespread damage.
And what causes a failure that big? We are talking about stuff that's way beyond a little hair and soap. This could be a massive buildup of all kinds of debris, or, get this, even tree roots that have physically grown right into your pipes looking for water.
So, you've spotted the signs. Everything from that slow drain to the full-on red alert. What's next? Well, for anything that's more than just a minor, one-time issue, the answer is to call in a professional. Let's take a look at what they can actually do.
Look, plungers and those chemical drain cleaners from the store might give you a temporary fix, but they just can't handle a deep, recurring, or really severe blockage. The pros have these specialized tools that are designed to clean out the entire pipe, not just punch a little hole through the gunk.
One of those tools is called power rodding. Imagine a powerful, super flexible drill. A rotating steel rod gets fed down into the pipe to physically break apart those tough blockages and scrape the inside of the pipes clean. It's perfect for cutting through solid stuff, like those invasive tree roots we talked about. And then you have hydrojetting. This is basically a pressure washer, but for your plumbing. It uses this incredibly high-pressure jet of water to just blast away years of that accumulated soft buildup, grease, sludge, soap scum, leaving the pipes looking practically brand new on the inside.
So, how do you know which one is the right tool for the job? It's actually pretty simple. If you've got a physical thing in the way, like a tree root, power rodding is what you need to cut it out. But if your problem is years of that soft, sticky buildup, then hydrojetting is the perfect way to just flush it all away.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, right? From the first little gurgle all the way to high-tech solutions. So what's the big takeaway? Well, it all really boils down to 3 simple stages.
It really is that simple. Stage 1, that early warning, just a slow drain. Stage 2, the growing problem, where water's backing up or you're getting clogs all the time. And finally, stage 3, the red alert, any water in your basement. If you can remember these stages, you'll know when to act before a tiny problem turns into a total disaster.
And that brings us to our final thought. After everything we've just gone over, just take a second and think about your own house. Listen closely. What are your drains trying to tell you right now? Thanks for tuning in.